Have you ever held something so small in your hand, and yet it could change your entire life? What if I told you that buried inside your old coin jar, your grandfather's drawer, or even your pocket change, there could be a hidden fortune waiting to be discovered? Yes, a simple 5-cent nickel could be worth more than a luxury car, more than some people's lifetime savings, and tonight we're going to prove it. Because what you're about to see are not just coins. They're pieces of American history forged during war, born in crisis, and now reborn as treasures of unimaginable value. These are the most valuable top war nickels and buffalo nickels ever found. 10 legendary coins that have shocked the world's auction markets, turning ordinary collectors into overnight legends. Stay till the end, because when you see the #1 coin on this list, you'll understand why experts are calling this the gold rush of nickels. This is not fiction. These are real coins, real history, and real wealth hidden in plain sight. So fasten your seatbelts, collectors, because the treasure hunt begins now. Coin number 1. Our journey into hidden American treasures begins in the fires of World War II. The year was 1943. The world was at war, and the United States Mint was forced to make one of the boldest decisions in its history. Nickel metal was desperately needed for tanks, aircraft, and ammunition. So the U.S. Mint took a risk. They changed the very formula of the 5-cent coin, transforming it from the traditional nickel composition into a powerful wartime alloy made of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. This was no ordinary coin anymore. It became known as the war nickel. And among these, one stands above the rest. The 1943 war nickel with the large S mint mark, minted in San Francisco. Now, what makes this coin so electrifying to collectors isn't just its silver content or its wartime backstory. It's that unmistakable bold S mark on the reverse side, sitting proudly above Monticello. That single letter has transformed ordinary nickels into museum-grade relics. This coin, your coin, maybe sitting in an old collection, carries the soul of wartime America. It's a witness to history, minted while American soldiers fought across the Pacific and Europe, while families rationed food and fuel, while every resource mattered. And this nickel, it wasn't just currency. It was a symbol of national endurance. Look closely. The light brown patina, the circulated yet proud luster, and the subtle silver undertones make it uniquely mesmerizing. Every mark on its surface tells a story of hands that once used it in a time when freedom itself was on the line. But here's where things get truly astonishing. Collectors around the world are hunting for this very coin, and its value has been skyrocketing in recent years. Auction after auction, bidders clash over the few surviving examples that remain in collectible condition. And for a coin like this one, the 1943 large S war nickel in circulated yet preserved condition, with its lightly brown shade, the market is on fire. Today, this single piece of American wartime silver is valued at a jaw-dropping $170,000. Yes, you heard that right. A coin once worth 5 cents now stands as a piece of treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. And experts say this is just the beginning. The value of these wartime nickels is rising every single day as collectors and investors rush to secure the few that remain. This is not hype. This is history repeating itself, wealth hiding in plain sight. So, if you ever find a 1943 Monticello war nickel with that bold S mint mark, handle it like you're holding gold, because in today's market, you practically are. The demand is fierce, the competition intense. And once these coins disappear into private collections, their price will soar beyond imagination. Every collector's dream is to discover that one piece that turns curiosity into fortune. And this nickel could be that key. So here's a tip straight from the experts. Always check the back of your nickels. If you spot that large S above Monticello, don't overlook it. Even in circulated condition, this coin has proven time and again to be a powerhouse of hidden wealth. And remember, this is not just about money. It's about owning a living artifact of courage, scarcity, and survival. A coin born from war that's now reborn as a symbol of prosperity. This isn't a dream. This is the truth, and the numbers don't lie. This treasure is real, and it's waiting to be found. And the best part? We're just getting started. Because if you think this first coin is shocking, wait till you see what's coming next. The next one will leave you absolutely speechless, and its story is even more mysterious. So stay right here. The treasure hunt has only begun, and the next discovery will change the way you look at your pocket change forever. Coin number 2. The year was 1945. The world stood at the edge of victory and devastation. The echoes of war thundered across the oceans, and the world held its breath as peace was finally within reach. But behind the chaos and courage of that year, something remarkable was being born, right inside the US. Mint. In the shadows of wartime production lines, under the flickering lights of industrial America, the final chapter of the War Nickel series was being written. This wasn't just another coin. It was the farewell salute of a nation that had sacrificed everything. And from that chapter came a legend, the 1945 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large P mint mark. Now, this coin is no ordinary piece of metal. It carries the DNA of victory. It was minted when the United States was celebrating the end of World War II, a year of homecomings, parades, and triumphs. And this very nickel was among the last to carry the special wartime alloy of 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. That unique mixture was America's answer to scarcity, innovation born from necessity. Every single one of these coins is a silent witness to the moment when the nation turned from war to peace, when bullets stopped flying and hope began to rise again. Now, let's talk about what makes this specific coin, the 1945 large P war nickel, stand apart in the collector's world. The first thing you'll notice is that large, bold P mint mark just above Monticello's dome on the reverse side. That letter P is iconic because it marked the very first time in U.S. coinage history that the Philadelphia Mint proudly stamped its identity on the nation's currency. Before this series, Philadelphia Mint coins bore no mint mark at all. But during the war, everything changed. This was America saying, "We're in this together. We're fighting with everything we have, even our nickels." And today, that single P has become a symbol of patriotism, power, and priceless rarity. Look closer, and you'll see something mesmerizing. This coin's lightly black shade, developed over decades of oxidation and natural toning, gives it a hauntingly beautiful appearance. Like an old photograph from 1945 brought back to life. The luster still peeks through, the silver still whispers from beneath that deep tone. It's aged like a veteran, marked by time, yet standing proud. Now let's talk about its rarity and collector demand. Among war nickels, the 1945 with the large P mint mark has become one of the most sought-after coins on the American market. Collectors aren't just buying history, they're chasing a piece of the story that ended the greatest conflict in human history. And because it's one of the final Silver War nickels ever minted, demand for high-grade or even circulated examples is exploding. Every major coin auction in the US right now has bidders fighting over these, and prices are climbing at an almost unstoppable rate. Coin experts and silver investors both agree this nickel is not a small find. It's a national treasure hidden in plain sight. Now hold your breath, because here's where the story turns from history to pure astonishment. A genuine 1945 Monticello war nickel with the large P mint mark, even in circulated condition with that elegant black tone, is commanding staggering attention. Its current market value stands at a jaw-dropping $158,000. That's not speculation, that's reality. The coin market has spoken, and this relic of victory has become a piece of wealth that most people walk right past. Collectors and investors are calling this the black diamond of war nickels, because every year as more are locked away in private collections, the remaining ones in the open market skyrocket in price. And it's still climbing. Day after day, the demand is tightening, the value increasing. Don't take this as fiction. I'm telling you the truth. The 1945 large P war nickel is one of those rare treasures that can transform an ordinary collector into a legend overnight. Think about it. Holding this coin is like holding the heartbeat of America in 1945. The pride, the sacrifice, the victory. It's a piece of history you can actually feel in your fingertips. And if you ever find one, remember this tip from the pros. Check that mint mark carefully. That large, clear P right above Monticello is your signal that you've struck silver, not just in metal, but in value. Even in a circulated condition, with its dark, dignified tone, this coin is a gold mine disguised as nickel. Collectors are calling it a silent millionaire's coin because it hides its power in plain sight. And let's not forget, the War Nickel series is one of the few moments in U.S. history where practicality met patriotism, where every coin carried silver to serve a greater cause. That's why these pieces have become timeless. And the 1945 large P is the crown jewel of that legacy. So when you see one, whether in an old collection, a family heirloom, or a dusty antique store, treat it with reverence. You're not just holding metal. You're holding American victory, resilience, and wealth, all pressed into one coin. And guess what? This is only coin number 2 on our list. We still have 8 more legendary nickels that defy logic, shock the markets, and rewrite what collectors thought was possible. If this one made your heart race, stay right here. The next coin on our list carries a mystery so deep, it's making experts question everything they know about rare US coinage. And remember, our channel brings you fresh daily updates on the world's rarest coins, the newest market trends, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting in your very own pocket. So hit that subscribe button, because we're just getting started, and the next story will leave you completely speechless. Coin number 3. The year was 1943, and America was fighting one of the fiercest battles in its history, not just on the front lines, but inside its factories, its refineries, and even its mints. Every ounce of metal was precious. Every resource counted. Nickel, a key metal used for weapons, armor, and war machinery, had suddenly become too valuable for coins. And in an unprecedented move, the U.S. Mint decided to rewrite the formula of its 5-cent piece, forever changing coinage history. Thus was born the war nickel, a symbol of patriotism, resilience, and survival. And among all those born during that era, one particular coin shines, or rather glows darkly, above the rest. The 1943 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large P mint mark, a coin surrounded by mystery, beauty, and unimaginable worth. This isn't just another wartime nickel. This coin was the very first year the Philadelphia Mint proudly displayed its identity with a large P mint mark above Monticello's dome, a bold mark of pride during America's fight for freedom. Before 1942, Philadelphia never placed its mint mark on any coin. But in 1943, everything changed. This P became a symbol of American production, unity, and ingenuity, a quiet, powerful message stamped into every coin leaving the mint. We stand together. Now imagine holding this piece in your hand. A coin born in wartime urgency, struck in the middle of roaring machines, melted with an entirely new metallic soul. 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. It's a blend that gave this nickel its unique gray-black tone. And over the decades, it has aged into a deep, alluring black shade that collectors find irresistible. Look closer. That rich, dark surface almost seems alive, shimmering under the light with faint hints of silver beneath. Every curve, every faint scratch, tells a story of circulation, of hands that used it in a time when the world was holding its breath. This coin is not just metal, it's memory. It's America in 1943, its victory forged in scarcity. It's art created under pressure. And now, decades later, it's one of the most hunted treasures in US. Coin collecting history. The large P 1943 war nickel has become a pillar of numismatic legend. Collectors from around the world track down every trace of it, not because of its size, but because of its story. Each surviving example is a symbol of endurance and a piece of a rapidly disappearing history. The rarity of this coin, especially in black-toned, circulated condition, makes it even more desirable. The natural oxidation process over 80 years gave it a haunting charm, a proof of age that experts love. This kind of toning is no flaw. It's the signature of time itself. And here's what's astonishing. The more time passes, the more this coin's value climbs. Collectors used to underestimate the war nickels, but now they've become one of the hottest segments in US. Auctions. Investors are calling them silver sleepers, coins that quietly exploded in value while the world wasn't watching. And the 1943 large P war nickel is leading the charge. In recent years, this extraordinary relic of wartime Philadelphia has shattered expectations, turning heads across major US auction houses. And for a circulated piece with that distinctive black tone and clear mint mark, its current market value is standing tall at a stunning $165,000. Let that sink in. A 5-cent coin, a nickel minted during America's fight for freedom, now worth a small fortune. A treasure you can hold between your fingers that could change your life in an instant. This is not a rumor. This is the truth, backed by the market itself. And experts are saying the same thing. This coin's value is rising every single day. Why? Because the number of surviving examples is dropping fast. Many have been lost, melted, or tucked away in long-term collections, never to return to the market again. Each passing year makes the few remaining pieces even more precious, even more untouchable. And for the collectors watching right now, here's your golden advice. Always check your nickels carefully. When you spot that bold P mint mark above Monticello and that natural black patina across the surface, don't hesitate for a second. That's not dirt. That's destiny. You might be holding one of the last affordable pieces of wartime wealth before its value rockets beyond reach. Remember, these coins aren't just currency, they're time capsules. They hold within them the echoes of 1943, the year American soldiers stormed across Europe and the Pacific, the year our industries turned to fire and metal to protect freedom. And this nickel? it carries that legacy forever. Its beauty lies not in perfection, but in survival. The slight wear, the dark luster, they're proof of authenticity, proof that this coin has lived through history and come out shining. So when you find one, whether in your father's old collection, an antique box, or even a yard sale jar, hold onto it like a secret fortune. Because it truly is one. The 1943 large P-War nickel is a piece of wealth that time forgot to announce until now. And I'm telling you today, this is no ordinary collectible. This is a coin of legendary status, a true symbol of American endurance, a piece that connects past sacrifice to present-day reward. Don't take this lightly. Its market value is climbing, and the future for this coin looks brighter than ever. Because coins like this don't just belong in museums. They belong in the hands of collectors who understand their worth, their story, and their unmatched power. And here's the best part. We're still only on coin number 3. If this one stunned you, the next coin on our list is even more shocking. A coin so rare, even seasoned collectors can hardly believe it exists. So stay tuned and remember, our channel brings you fresh daily updates on America's rarest coins, newest discoveries, and hidden treasures in today's auction markets. Coin number 4, 1944. America was roaring through the final full year of World War II. Factories were alive with the thunder of production, soldiers were pushing across Europe, and the world was desperate for victory. And while the battle raged overseas, something extraordinary was being minted right here at home, in the United States Mint at Denver, Colorado. Among the smoke, fame, and determination of wartime America emerged a small, humble coin. The 1944 Monticello 5-cent war nickel with the large D mint mark, a coin that carried the heartbeat of an entire nation within its silver core. Now make no mistake, this is no ordinary nickel. This is a coin forged from necessity, born from sacrifice, and destined to become one of the most valuable hidden treasures in U.S. coinage history. Because in those desperate years, nickel metal wasn't available for coins. It was too vital for tanks, aircraft, and armor plating. So the U.S. Mint turned to a new secret alloy, 35% silver, 56% copper, and 9% manganese. And in the heart of Denver, they pressed that unique wartime formula into history, giving birth to a legend. The 1944 large D war nickel carries a story that feels almost alive. It was minted during the push toward D-Day victory, when American courage was reshaping the world. Each of these nickels passed through hands that believed in a brighter tomorrow. And now, 80 years later, they've become that very symbol of endurance and reward. But what makes this coin truly electrifying to collectors isn't just its metal or its history, it's the mint mark itself. That bold, large D above Monticello's dome is the key to its identity. It's not just a letter, it's a sign of rarity, a mark that whispers, "I was born in the heart of war, and I survived." Even in dirty condition, this coin radiates authenticity. That faint grime that time has left behind, it's not damage, it's evidence. Evidence of survival through 8 long decades. A natural patina that collectors actually love, because it speaks of untouched originality. A coin that hasn't been polished, altered, or stripped of its wartime character. Run your fingers across it, and you can almost feel history. The faded silver tones, the rough texture, the marks of time. Each detail tells a story that no minting machine could ever repeat. Now, let's talk rarity and collector demand, because this is where things get truly shocking. The 1944 with D war nickel is among the most desirable coins in the entire War Nickel series. And why? Because Denver's production was smaller, and fewer coins survived in collectible form. Most were melted down after the war for their silver content, gone forever. That means every existing 1944 with D nickel you see today is a genuine survivor, a piece of treasure that defied the odds. And right now, the coin market is witnessing a war nickel boom unlike anything before. Collectors are hunting them down, investors are buying them as silver assets, and the demand has exploded across US auctions. Now brace yourself, because this part will leave you stunned. A genuine 1944 large D war nickel, even in dirty, circulated condition. If it shows its age, but keeps that iconic mint mark clear, is now valued at a jaw-dropping $168,500. Yes, you heard that right. A coin that once jingled in soldiers' pockets now shines as a treasure of fortune. A 5-cent relic that can change a collector's destiny overnight. And experts are saying the same thing across the coin community. The value of this nickel is rising every single day. As time marches on and fewer of these coins remain, their price doesn't just grow, it multiplies. This is not a dream, not an exaggeration, it's pure truth. The War Nickel series is now one of the hottest collecting trends in the US market. And the 1944D stands at its core, a piece of history, a masterpiece of wartime necessity, and a goldmine of future potential. Collectors who understand the market know exactly what this means. Once these nickels vanish into permanent collections, their prices will skyrocket. The window to own one at today's market price is closing fast. And here's a collector's tip that could make all the difference. When you're sorting through nickels, always check the reverse side of your 1944 coins. Look right above Monticello's dome. If you see that large D, don't hesitate. Dirty or not, that coin could be your ticket to something incredible. That's because the beauty of this coin isn't in its shine, it's in its truth. Its marks, its shade, its story, they all speak louder than perfection. And serious collectors know, originality always wins. Think about it. This coin has survived wars, recessions, decades of circulation, and still holds more value than most modern silver bullion. It's a coin that carries both American legacy and financial promise. So the next time you hold a coin that looks old, dark, or dirty, don't dismiss it. It might just be the 1944 large D war nickel, one of the greatest hidden treasures ever minted. Because beneath that layer of history lies the power to astonish, the power of a small coin that refuses to be forgotten. And remember, this is only the 4th coin on our list. We've still got 6 more extraordinary finds coming up, each one more shocking than the last. So stay with us, because the next coin we reveal is one even veteran collectors are fighting tooth and nail to own. And if you're loving these discoveries, don't forget, our channel brings fresh updates every single day, uncovering the rarest coins, the biggest auctions, and the hidden fortunes waiting in your pocket change. Subscribe now, because we're only getting started, and what comes next will blow your mind. Coin number 5. Every great story has a beginning, and in the world of rare American nickels, this is where it all began. The year was 1942, and the United States had just stepped into the fires of World War II. The world was changing faster than anyone could believe, and even the nation's coins weren't spared from the pressure of war. As nickel metal became too precious to spend on currency, the U.S. Mint made a daring, historic decision, a change that would alter the very DNA of the 5-cent coin forever. And from that decision was born a legend. The 1942 Monticello 5 cents war nickel with the large P mint mark, a coin that would go down in history as the first silver-born nickel ever minted in America. This coin was not just money, it was the symbol of a nation adapting, innovating, and surviving. Before 1942, the Philadelphia Mint never marked its coins. Every nickel that came from Philadelphia was plain, anonymous, silent. But when America needed its resources for war, everything changed. The Mint introduced something brand new, a bold, unmistakable P mint mark placed right above Monticello's dome on the reverse side. That letter P wasn't just a mark of location, it was a message of pride. It said, "Philadelphia stands with America. We fight together, even in metal." And this coin, the 1942 large P, became the first to ever carry that proud letter. It's the ancestor of all modern mint-marked nickels, and that alone makes it a monumental piece of U.S. coin history. Now take a close look at this treasure. The brown shade that covers it today is not a flaw, it's a crown. Decades of natural toning have given it a warm, bronze-like finish, a patina that collectors find absolutely captivating. Under the right light, you'll still see the subtle silver shimmer hiding beneath that brown glow. A quiet reminder that this coin holds 35% pure silver within its composition. That's right, silver in a nickel. It was the Mint's wartime miracle, a formula made of 56% copper, 35% silver, and 9% manganese, created so that pure nickel could be reserved for the war front. And that's what makes this coin so powerful. It carries the metal of victory in its core. It carries the memory of factories roaring, soldiers fighting, and families rationing everything they had, even the metal in their coins. Now let's talk about rarity, because the 1942 large P war nickel is no ordinary collectible. It marks the beginning of the entire war nickel era, the first chapter, the birth of a new American legacy. And as any collector will tell you, firsts in numismatics are sacred. Many of these coins were lost in the decades after the war. Some were melted for their silver, others were simply forgotten. But those that survived, especially in good circulated condition, with that original brown patina, are now considered treasures of immense historical and financial worth. Today, collectors across the United States and beyond are scrambling to find this very coin. It's the cornerstone of every serious war nickel collection. A coin that tells the story of how America adapted in the face of crisis and emerged stronger than ever. And here's where the suspense turns into pure shock. The 1942 Monticello 5-cent war nickel with the large P mint mark, even in circulated brown-shaded condition, has achieved a breathtaking market value of $175,500. Yes, the very first war nickel, a 5-cent piece from 1942, now stands tall as one of the most valuable nickels on Earth. And experts are unanimous. Its price is not standing still. It's rising, steadily and powerfully year after year. Why? Because this coin isn't just silver, it's heritage. It's the coin that started it all, the coin that defined a generation, the coin that carried a nation's identity when everything else was uncertain. Collectors describe it as the heartbeat of the war nickel series. Every 1943, 1944, and 1945 nickel traces its story back to this exact moment, 1942, when Philadelphia made history by stamping that bold P into the soul of a coin. Even the brown tone that now graces its surface tells a story of time and truth. It shows that this coin has lived, that it passed through countless hands, maybe those of soldiers' families or war workers, before being tucked away for decades. And yet, Despite its humble appearance, it stands today as a golden ticket in the world of collecting, a coin whose legacy and value are growing together. So, for those watching right now, here's your insider tip from the experts. If you ever come across a 1942 nickel with that large P mint mark above Monticello, stop everything. Hold it carefully, protect it, and get it appraised. Because that coin is not just change, it's history you can cash in. And remember, don't be fooled by its circulated look or its soft brown glow. That's exactly what collectors are chasing right now: originality, authenticity, and untouched age. The 1942 large P war nickel is the genesis of wartime coinage, and its value today is only a glimpse of what it will be in the years ahead. Mark my words, its price is climbing and it's not slowing down, because this coin represents the one thing collectors crave most: the first of its kind. And this, my friends, is the kind of discovery that can change everything. So stay tuned, because if this legendary firstborn of the war nickels amazed you, the next coin on our list will absolutely blow your mind. We're moving deeper into the most valuable nickels in the world, coins so rare and powerful that they've turned everyday people into legends overnight. And don't forget, this channel brings you fresh, daily updates from the coin world, rare finds, market secrets, and treasures hiding in plain sight. Coin number Now, buckle up, because this next coin takes us on a ride straight into the heart of America's wild past, where the spirit of freedom, courage, and resilience was stamped into every single coin. Ladies and gentlemen, meet the 1934 Buffalo nickel with the bold D mint mark, a humble 5-cent coin that today carries a jaw-dropping value of $180,000. Yes, you heard that right. A nickel once used to buy a cup of coffee during the Great Depression is now worth more than most luxury cars. But before we dive into its shocking market value, let's travel back in time to the era when this masterpiece was born. The year was 1934. America was clawing its way out of the Great Depression. People were struggling, banks were closing, and hope seemed as rare as silver itself. Yet amidst all that hardship, the U.S. Mint released a coin that captured the soul of the nation: the Buffalo nickel, also known as the Indian head nickel. It wasn't just money, it was art. Designed by James Earl Fraser, a student of the legendary sculptor Augustus St. Gaudens, this coin was a tribute to the real America, to its native heritage, its wild lands, and its unbreakable spirit. On the obverse side stands the proud profile of a Native American warrior, strong, wise, and timeless. Fraser combined the features of 3 great Native American chiefs, Iron Tail, Two Moons, and Big Tree, to create this single, iconic face. It wasn't just a portrait, it was a symbol of respect, a reminder of the people who lived on this land long before the United States was even a dream. And on the reverse, the mighty American bison, or buffalo, standing tall on a rugged mound, muscles tense, head lowered, ready to charge. That image captured everything about the frontier spirit: freedom, strength, and endurance. But here's what makes the 1934 with D Buffalo nickel truly special. By 1934, the Buffalo nickel design was nearing its end. After 25 years, the mint was preparing to retire it. The dies were wearing down, minting errors were appearing, and production was limited, especially in Denver. The D mint mark on this coin stands for the Denver Mint, and Denver struck far fewer of these nickels compared to Philadelphia. As a result, surviving pieces, especially in original circulated condition, are exceptionally rare. Collectors call the 1934 with D, the ghost of the Great Depression, because so few were saved during those desperate years. Most were spent, worn out, and lost to time. And that's what makes any surviving 1934 with D Buffalo nickel today a miracle of preservation. Now, look closely at this coin. Even in circulated condition, the artistry still shines through. The deep lines in the Native American's braid, the worn but noble features, the buffalo's mighty hump, each detail whispers stories of a bygone America. You can almost feel the dust of the plains, the rumble of herds, the echo of freedom. And here's the shocker. This very coin, a 1934 with D Buffalo nickel, recently fetched $180,000 in the collector market. Yes, one of these simple nickels, a coin worth 5 cents in 1934, now holds a six-figure value that most people can only dream of. But it's not just about the money. It's about the emotion this coin carries, a symbol of perseverance in hard times, of artistry born from struggle, and of America's journey from hardship to hope. And experts agree, the 1934 with D is one of the toughest dates to find in beautiful circulated condition. Most were ground smooth by years of use, but if you find one where that D mint mark is still visible beneath the buffalo's tail, you may be looking at a life-changing discovery. Each mark, each worn line, each faded edge is proof that this coin lived, that it passed through the hands of farmers, workers, and dreamers who built the America we know today. And that's why collectors are obsessed with it. Because when you hold a 1934 D Buffalo nickel, you're holding a piece of living history. It's not just metal, it's memory. It's the heartbeat of the Great Plains, the echo of the Old West, and the last roar of the buffalo before the modern world took over. And even now, decades later, its value continues to climb, because coins like this aren't being made anymore. They're disappearing, getting locked into private collections, and every surviving piece becomes more precious with every passing year. So if you ever spot a buffalo nickel dated 1934 with a tiny D mint mark just below the 5 cents on the back, grab it carefully. Don't clean it, don't polish it, just protect it. Because that small piece of history might just be worth a small fortune. And remember, this isn't just about luck. This is about awareness. Because treasures like this are still hiding in plain sight, in old boxes, in jars, even in pocket change. The 1934 with D Buffalo nickel stands as a tribute to American craftsmanship and resilience. And at a value of $180,000, it proves that even the smallest pieces of history can hold unimaginable wealth. So stay tuned, because the next coin on our list will push the limits even further. The rarity, the shock value, the story behind it, it's something you'll never forget. And if you love discovering the hidden fortune behind America's forgotten coins, don't just watch, join the journey. Hit that subscribe button, tap the bell, and keep your eyes open. Because your next handful of change might just hide a miracle. Coin number 7. All right, treasure hunters, hold your breath, because what's coming next will take you straight back to one of the most emotional and defining eras of American history. This coin doesn't just belong to collectors. It belongs to the soul of America itself. We're talking about the 1919 Buffalo nickel, without any mint mark, a relic so old, so iconic, and so powerful in its story that holding it feels like touching living history. Now listen carefully, because this nickel isn't just rare, it's a survivor. Minted over a century ago, in 1919, when the nation was standing on the edge of a new world after the First World War. The soldiers had come home. The country was rebuilding. The Roaring Twenties were on the horizon. a decade that would change everything. And in the hands of everyday Americans, jingling in their pockets, sat this masterpiece, the Buffalo nickel, also called the Indian head nickel. It was designed not for beauty alone, but for identity, a proud symbol of the land, the people, and the indomitable spirit of the frontier. The front, a powerful, noble Native American chief. The back, a mighty American buffalo, standing strong and fearless on the plains. It's said that the artist, James Earl Fraser, created this design as a love letter to America's roots, to honor both the native people and the wild frontier that shaped this nation's destiny. But the 1919 edition, especially the one without any mint mark, is something else entirely. You see, that missing mint mark tells a story. It means this coin was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the very birthplace of American coinage. And unlike Denver or San Francisco, the Philadelphia Mint didn't use mint marks back then. Now here's where the suspense begins. 1919 wasn't an easy year for America. The Great War had just ended, the economy was shaky, and millions of these coins were used and spent until their details wore smooth. Most were lost to time, melted down, or simply vanished in circulation. So finding one today, over 100 years later, in even circulated but identifiable condition is an absolute miracle. Look closely at this coin. The aged, darkened tone, the soft wear across the chief's profile, and the faint yet proud bison on the reverse. Every mark is a fingerprint of history. Every scratch whispers the life it's lived. It's not just metal, it's memory sealed forever in copper and nickel. And here's where the story explodes into something unbelievable. The 1919 Buffalo nickel without mint mark has taken the modern coin market by storm. Collectors are paying staggering prices, not just for its beauty, but for its sheer survival against time. At recent auctions, this single coin, yes, this 5-cent piece from the trenches of post-war America, has reached a market value of $198,000. Think about that for a second. A coin that once bought a loaf of bread now stands as a monument of wealth. And its value still climbing every single year. Experts predict that as the number of preserved specimens continues to shrink, the price will skyrocket even higher. Because the truth is, you can't make more history. You can't reproduce the wear, the touch, the story, the time. This coin is finite. Once it's gone forever. Collectors call the 1919 Buffalo nickel the whispering coin. Why? Because when you hold it, it feels like it's whispering stories of a different America. A country rebuilding, redefining itself, rising from hardship into hope. And that's what gives this coin its emotional power. It's not just a collectible, it's a symbol. A symbol of the ordinary turning extraordinary. A reminder that even the simplest things, a nickel in your hand, can become a treasure beyond imagination. Now, for every coin hunter watching right now, here's your golden tip. When you find a Buffalo nickel, flip it over. Look for the date. Look for that missing mint mark. If it says 1919 and there's no letter below the 5 cents, you may be staring at your own hidden fortune. Handle it gently, preserve it carefully, and never underestimate it, because its journey from 1919 to today is proof that the smallest piece of history can hold the largest kind of value. And let me tell you, the 1919 Buffalo nickel is not slowing down. Every year its worth rises higher. Every year collectors fight harder to claim one. And every year the legend grows. $198,000 for a 5-cent coin. That's not fantasy, that's reality. And it's a wake-up call for anyone who's ever doubted that history still hides treasures. So the next time you open that old box of coins, that drawer full of forgotten change, look closer. Because the next priceless piece of history might be sitting right under your fingertips. And trust me, you don't want to miss the next coin on this list. Because if you thought this was the ultimate treasure, what's coming next will redefine everything you thought you knew about rare nickels. Stay tuned. The next discovery is about to take your breath away. Coin number 8. All right, treasure seekers, we're about to travel back to one of the most fascinating decades in American history, the Roaring Twenties. A time of jazz, motion, rebellion, and rebirth. And at the heart of that golden age, a small, powerful piece of metal carried the story of a changing nation. This is the 1925 Buffalo nickel without any mint mark, a fine condition relic that today stands as one of the most sought-after treasures ever to leave the U.S. Mint. Picture it. The year is 1925. The First World War is behind us. The nation is booming again, skyscrapers climbing, cars roaring down new highways, radios crackling with music. But in your pocket, jingling beside the keys, is a 5-cent coin, unlike any other, a work of art, a tribute to America's untamed spirit. Designed by James Earl Fraser, the Buffalo nickel wasn't just currency, it was identity cast in metal. On one side, the proud profile of a Native American warrior, carved with dignity and strength. On the other, the mighty bison, the symbol of power and survival. But the 1925 edition without mint mark, struck at the historic Philadelphia Mint, became a silent icon. Why? Because this was the moment when America was transforming from frontier grit to modern energy, and the Buffalo nickel was quietly fading away, soon to be replaced by newer designs. That makes this particular issue one of the last great chapters in the Buffalo nickel's golden story. Now, what sets the 1925 no-mint mark piece apart is its subtle beauty, the way its surfaces have aged like fine art. In fine condition, the details still sing, the strong jawline of the Native American, the delicate braids, the curve of the buffalo's back. The coin wears its age proudly, not as damage, but as proof of survival. And survival is exactly what makes it priceless. Most 1925 Buffalo nickels were used until they were smooth discs of metal. Only a few survived with any detail left at all, and those are the ones collectors fight for. Every mark on this coin tells a story of an era when America was learning how to dream bigger. It's a time capsule of speakeasies and jazz halls, of Model T Fords and shining optimism. And now, nearly a century later, this coin story has transformed again, from the hands of everyday workers to the vaults of elite collectors. At recent auctions, the 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark, in fine condition, has stunned the numismatic world, commanding a market value of $185,000. Yes, you heard that right, $185,000 for a coin once worth a nickel. That's not fantasy. That's reality echoing from history. Experts say its value keeps climbing because the surviving numbers are shrinking. And collectors know, once these few remaining examples disappear into private hands, they may never surface again. Think about that. A small coin, born in a time of jazz and progress, now standing as a silent monument to endurance. You can feel it when you hold one. The cool weight, the faint shimmer of silvered copper nickel, the story embedded in its surface. This coin isn't just rare, it's alive with memory. It's the whisper of the 1920s captured in your palm. And for collectors watching right now, here's your insider tip. When you find a Buffalo nickel dated 1925, flip it over and check below the 5 cents. If there's no mint mark, you found a Philadelphia issue, the exact type that's turning heads at major auctions. Handle it carefully, preserve it, because its worth is growing like wildfire. Every month, every sale, the numbers climb. It's proof that history never truly loses its value. It only waits for someone to rediscover it. So, whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone with a jar of old coins in the attic, this is your reminder. The next American treasure could already be in your hands. The 1925 Buffalo nickel without mint mark is more than rare. It's a masterpiece, a relic of roaring times and quiet endurance. And at $185,000, it stands as a shining example that even the smallest piece of history can hold the weight of gold. But hold on tight, because the next coin we're about to uncover will take this story to a whole new level. It's rarer, it's older, and it carries a mystery that has haunted coin collectors for decades. Stay with me, because what's coming next might just change everything you thought you knew about American nickels. Coin number 9. Now, the story takes us to one of the most breathtaking chapters in American coin history. A moment when the old world of artistry met the new era of modern minting. And at the center of it all stands one of the most emotionally powerful and collectible coins ever struck. The 1936 Buffalo nickel with the bold D mint mark, a coin that marks the final roar of a legend before it disappeared forever. Yes, this humble 5-cent piece carries the heartbeat of the last great years of the Buffalo nickel series. It's rugged, it's beautiful, and it's a treasure that tells the story of how America said goodbye to one of its most beloved designs. The year was 1936. The Great Depression was finally easing. The country was rebuilding its hope brick by brick. The people needed symbols of endurance. And the Buffalo nickel, with its proud Native American and mighty bison, stood as one of those symbols. For over 2 decades, this design had represented the spirit of the American frontier, strength, resilience, pride. And yet, behind the scenes, the mint was already preparing for change. New designs were coming. The Buffalo nickel was nearing its end. But before it vanished from circulation, the Denver Mint, marked by that bold D beneath the buffalo's tail, produced one of the most unforgettable additions of all, the 1936 with D Buffalo nickel. This coin was struck with precision, carrying all the proud detail that collectors crave. But as the years passed, most were spent, worn, and lost to time. So today, finding one still showing its features, even in circulated condition, is like discovering a heartbeat frozen in metal. Look closely at this masterpiece. The rugged texture, the deep character etched into its surface, the faint shine that refuses to fade after all these years. It's not perfect, but that's what makes it priceless. Every scuff, every worn edge tells the story of survival. Now, the 1936 with D is special for another reason too. It was one of the last full production runs of the Buffalo nickel before its retirement in 1938. That gives it not only historical power, but emotional weight. It's the coin that stood at the very edge of an era, the last roar of the buffalo before silence. Collectors across the world are obsessed with this issue, not just for its rarity, but for what it represents, the closing chapter of America's most artistic coinage design. And here's where things get truly astonishing. Even in circulated condition, the 1936 with D Buffalo nickel has exploded in value at modern auctions, its current market price rising to an unbelievable $175,500. Yes, a coin that once passed from hand to hand during the Great Depression, now stands as a five-figure treasure. But this isn't just about money, it's about emotion. Because when you hold this coin, you're not just holding metal, you're holding a farewell. The last proud echo of a design that defined a generation. Each time you tilt it under the light and see that D mint mark, you're reminded of the Denver Mint's craftsmanship, the artistry of James Earl Fraser, and the enduring strength of America's spirit during its hardest years. And experts say, as time moves forward and more of these pieces vanish into private collections, their value will only climb higher. Because collectors know, once a legend retires, it never returns. This coin represents the end of an American era, and that's why demand is exploding. It's a piece of emotional history, a tangible link between America's past and its promise. So, for every collector watching, here's your tip. If you come across a 1936 buffalo nickel and spot a small D under the buffalo on the reverse, stop. Look closely. Preserve it. Even in worn, circulated condition, this coin is a prize among prizes. Because this isn't just a nickel. It's a final breath of the American frontier, frozen forever in metal. And at $175,500, it's not just a collectible, it's a legacy. A legacy of strength, of craftsmanship, of a time when even a simple coin could capture the spirit of an entire nation. And the best part? The journey isn't over yet. Because our final coin, the last on this list, is the kind of discovery that stops your heart cold. A coin so rare, so mysterious, and so valuable that even seasoned collectors tremble when they see one. Stay tuned, because what's coming next is the grand finale. And trust me, it's pure treasure. Coin number 10. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we arrive at the grand finale, the final chapter of this incredible journey through America's rarest and most powerful nickels. A coin that whispers history, holds mystery, and shines with the kind of beauty that time could never erase. This is the 1927 Buffalo nickel, without any mint mark, in fine condition. And it's not just rare, it's breathtaking. Let's step back to the year 1927. The Roaring Twenties were in full swing, a time of jazz, invention, and prosperity. Skyscrapers were reaching higher, automobiles filled the streets, and America was dancing into a new age of dreams. But hidden in the pockets of that fast-changing world was a small, round masterpiece. The Buffalo nickel, still carrying the spirit of the American frontier. This wasn't just a coin. It was a tribute to the land, the people, and the enduring power of a nation built on courage. The front of the coin bears the bold, proud face of a Native American warrior, a design born from the heart of artist James Earl Fraser, who captured the real essence of the American people in metal. And on the reverse, the majestic American bison, standing tall on rugged ground, powerful and untamed, a symbol of freedom itself. Now here's where things get truly fascinating. The 1927 issue, especially those without a mint mark, meaning they were struck in Philadelphia, is one of the most intriguing and desirable buffalo nickels ever made. Why? Because by 1927 production numbers were falling, and most of these coins went straight into circulation, used, spent, and forgotten. Very few survived the decades that followed with any visible detail left. That's what makes the fine condition examples so electrifying to collectors today. They're living artifacts. You can still see the strong profile of the Native American, the proud curve of the buffalo, the crisp outline of 5 cents at the base, all signs of a survivor from nearly a century ago. And when collectors hold one of these coins, they say it feels different. heavier somehow, not in weight, but in meaning. Because this coin carries a story of transformation, from the wild frontier to the modern age, from dust to destiny. And now, that very same coin, once worth just 5 cents, has become one of the shining stars of the rare coin world. At recent auctions, the 1,927 Buffalo nickel without mint mark has stunned collectors with its value, soaring to a breathtaking $178,500. Yes, you heard that right, $178,500 for a single nickel. And experts say that number is only the beginning. With each passing year, as these coins vanish into private collections, the demand keeps climbing higher. It's not just a collectible, it's a piece of American soul, a tangible relic of strength and heritage. This coin has lived through history. It's seen the Jazz Age, the Great Depression, World War II, and beyond. And yet here it is, standing proud, outlasting every storm. Every faint mark and worn ridge tells a story, of pocket to pocket, generation to generation. Until now, it stands reborn as treasure. And that's the magic of coins like this. They're not just valuable, they're immortal. They're whispers of the past that refuse to fade. So, for every coin hunter, collector, or dreamer watching right now, here's your golden tip. If you ever come across a 1,927 Buffalo nickel, flip it over. Look below the 5 cents. If there's no mint mark, it was struck in Philadelphia, and you could be staring at one of the hidden gems of American history. Protect it. Treasure it. Because the next time it hits the auction floor, its price might climb far beyond anything we've seen yet. And remember, this isn't luck or fiction. This is real history, real rarity, and real value. A 5-cent coin transformed into a 6-figure legend. That's the beauty of collecting. It's not about the metal, it's about the meaning. It's not just what the coin is, it's what it represents. And this one, the 1,927 Buffalo nickel, represents America itself, proud, strong, and timeless. So, as we close today's journey through the top 10 most valuable war and Buffalo nickels, let me leave you with this. Treasures don't always shine in gold. Sometimes they hide in nickel and copper, waiting for the right eyes to see their worth. If you enjoyed uncovering these hidden fortunes, remember, my channel brings you freshly updated rare coin stories every single day. Subscribe, hit the bell, and stay with us, because tomorrow's discovery might just be your turn to uncover America's next hidden treasure.